In Angular,
Sorry?
sir, in Angular we are using TypeScript, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Who are new people? Two or three new people might be there, right? New people who joined today. Okay, fine. Now, so a single page application. What is single page application? What is single page application?
Without loading the page, we can.
Without loading the page. No. What is single page application? See, when we talk about, yeah, go ahead.
It does not require a refresh page to load a new one.
Right. That we can consider as an answer. Okay. Now, if you see W3 school I have visited, if I go to the SQL, pay attention over here. Okay. SQL. See, your page is reloading. So what happens in this? Whenever you click on a different page, your request goes to the server and that physical file get called from the server and then loaded onto the browser. Okay. So whenever I click over here, request goes to the server that I need this physical file, HTML file, and that physical file will get back over here. Currently, this is ASP application, but again, HTML file only. So this is multiple page based application. This is how used to be application before the Angular and React. Okay. Now, if you check any Angular application, right? So uh, that reload won't happen. Okay. Even if you try to navigate from one page to another page, that reload won't happen. So that is single page application. So when your application load onto the browser, whole your code will get loaded. Okay. So again, after that, let's say by default login page is there. Once you log in, you are navigating to the dashboard automatically, right? So you server again, you don't make hit to the server and get the dashboard page detail. It is already loaded because whole application code will be there in your main.js. Okay. So that will give you the speed. So see, even if I click over here, it is taking at least 2 seconds or 1 second or some millisecond. In Angular, it won't be that also. Okay. So that is the power of single page application. So when we talk about single page application, we have Angular, React.js, Vue.js. What else are there? Next.js also follows the single page application, right? Anyone have explored Next.js? Okay. So at least for sure, I know this three follows SPA framework. Okay. Now, when we talk about single page application, so are we going to have just one page, one HTML page? No, it's not like that. But your parent application means your parent, overall the application, only one single HTML page will be loaded. But when you navigate and when you hide and show, different component HTML code means HTML template will load into the browser. But your parent page will be single. Whole your application load into that single HTML page. Okay. So that we will see now. Now in Angular, normally we use TypeScript. Okay. What is TypeScript?
It's a superscript of JavaScript.
Yeah, that's a theoretical definition, superset of JavaScript. But what does it mean?
Strictly type.
Strictly type we can get. That is one feature of TypeScript. You know, when you create variable in JavaScript, can you add a restriction like only string type of data can get stored into that variable? No, right? We don't have any restriction. Like if you create a variable and you initialize that variable with string, after some time you can put number also, date also in that variable. We don't have any restriction, but in TypeScript we get that valid restriction. So TypeScript, you can say it's a superset of JavaScript. It is a language built upon the JavaScript. By using JavaScript concept, this language is who has created TypeScript? Who has created TypeScript?
Microsoft, I
right?
think.
Microsoft. Okay. When you say about TypeScript, this is okay, superset of JavaScript. But next sentence should be it supports some OOPS features. Okay, this is another sentence you can add. Strongly typing. Okay, some features are there. Okay, it doesn't support all those features, but some of features it supports. Okay, now, so before starting with Angular, as like those who have joined from JavaScript, we have completed all the concept of JavaScript, but we don't have to learn TypeScript separately. While learning Angular only, we can learn TypeScript. We don't need to wait or we don't need to give some extra time just to learn the TypeScript, because whatever the concept you know from JavaScript, same concept will work in the TypeScript also. Everything, including DOM manipulation, variable declaration, for loop, if else, switch case, everything works the same. Some extra things are there that we will see while learning Angular with the practical. Okay. Now, so first we need Node.js. So what is the purpose of Node.js? Why do we need this application installed in your system?
To run JavaScript locally.
To run JavaScript locally? No, but without Node.js also. Let's say you don't install Node.js. You can run JavaScript, right? JavaScript
Yeah,
doesn't need Node.js.
but
To support all the packages that needed in Angular.
See,
It provides a runtime environment for
right.
running our Angular application.
Angular, React.js, Next.js, Vue.js, all the libraries which are built upon the JavaScript framework. If you want to run those locally on your environment, you need a Node.js framework. Okay. So you can just simply go over here, go to the download page and you install it. If you have very old version, make sure in your personal laptop only. Don't use your company laptop to install it. So install this new one, because for if you have very old one before, let's say last year, so Angular 21 won't be supporting over there. Okay, so you need the latest one. When let's say you have installed in last 1 or 2 months, it's okay. It will support Angular 21 also. Node.js you need. Then VS Code you might already have. Then you need to install Angular. Okay, so angular.dev. So this is a new site which we got from, I think, 18 or 19 or 20. When we got this new site, 20, this is there, 19, same website, 18, same. From here you can change. 17? No, 17 was the old. See, when I switch back to the 17 version, it goes to the old. I think 19 was there. Yeah, from 19 we got this new website. So the previous website was angular.io. Okay, this was a previous website. Then from Angular 18 we got new website, that is angular.dev. Okay, now so to docs installation. Sometimes you have to check, let's say not all projects you will get in Angular 17 plus. Oh, so many projects are there still with Angular 16, 15, 12, right? So if you want to refer any official documentation, visit IO, or you can change it from here, specific version. Okay, see, all the versions are over here. If you want to check like this feature was there in Angular specific version or not, so from here you can check it. Okay, now installation. So if you have installed your Node.js properly, so you can open a command prompt and then you can check npm-v, run this command. If you are getting the version, means your Node.js is successfully installed. If you don't have Node.js, npm command won't work. Okay, now what is npm? What is the use of npm? What this portal does?
It provides some packages which we required for our Angular application.
Okay, it's a portal where all the packages, libraries are being hosted. Again, it is not only limited to Angular, React.js, Vue.js, .NET, Java, Python, jQuery, JavaScript. Let's say you created some code, okay, or you created some module or something which is doing some particular operation. Let's say you created a date picker, okay, and that date picker you have created for Angular, and you think that date picker component, everyone can use it. So you create a library of it, you host it over here, then you can use it. Okay, Just like .NET library is also there. You create, let's say you created some libraries on the .NET which allows you to convert your Excel into your JSON file or your PDF. It might, you have created a library which read the PDF and it will help you to read, get all the text from the PDF. So you can create a library of it and you can host it. Others can install that library in their project and they can use it. Okay. So it's a common platform for all the technologies where libraries are getting published. You can download it with the name and the version. Okay. Now, so here you can see npm install -g. If you want to install any library from your npm, so this is, be on mute, guys. Vaibhav. If you want to install any library from npm install, then your package name. Okay, if I copy this is my package name. I will search it over here. See, 21.2.2. This is the updated version. Okay, patch they have released. Who is maintaining this? Angular team and Google. Who has created this library? Okay, how many versions are there? See, 1027 versions are there. What is this version? Let's say you created that PDF reading library. Initially, you deployed it. Then you made some changes, right? So you have to again deploy it with the new version name. Okay. You created a library, but after that, every time you make the changes, the old version will be as it is. Every time you will add new version. Okay. Each package will have some dependencies also. If you want to use this, this package has some dependencies. So that also will be mentioned over here. If you want to use Angular CLI, these are the dependencies. But you don't have to install it. When you install this package, all the dependencies will be by default installed. Fine. Now, so this is the command what you need to run. -g stands for global. You are installing this library overall your application, not for a particular folder. Okay. Let's copy this. Now you have to run it over here. Open just command prompt and paste it. No need to open anywhere. Just normally open the command prompt and paste it. Okay. Install. So just click on enter. Now what it will does, it will fetch this particular package from your npm. And because we didn't say what version, so it will install the latest version, whatever I have. Okay. Let me quickly open another cmd ngv. This is a command to check. So you can see existing is 21.0. Last time I installed. Now, once this process gets done, my package will be updated. Angular. That is taking time. You can also do the parallelly if you don't have yet. I will share this in the Zoom chat. Do it parallelly with me. In the Zoom chat, I have shared it, copy it and open a command prompt and install it. So here you can see it is saying that all the packages, added 7 packages, removed 34 packages and changed 282 packages. So it has done something. Okay. Now so see, this was my older version, 21.0.0. Now if I close it and open the again command prompt. Now, once you install that Angular package, then Angular command will work with ngv. ngv is to check what Angular version you have. See, my Angular CLI has been updated 21.2.2. Clear? So to install Angular, you have to run this command npm install -g @angular-cli. Fine. Why we need this library? From creating project to run the project to create component services to do everything in Angular, we have to use commands only. So that commands come from this libraries. To run that command, you need to have this installed in your system. Then only you can run all the Angular command. Okay. Everyone done with the installation? Let me know if anyone is facing issue. By now, everyone might have it already, but again, some of you might not have. So just install it. Even if you have the older 21, it's okay. You don't have to run this again. If your Node.js version is the old one, then you might get error. Okay. So make sure your Node.js is also the updated version. Fine. Now, I will go to the folder now.
So where we will know that which version we need to use for that current Angular version?
You don't have to provide the version. If you just install this now, by default, it will update, install the latest one,
Latest one.
21.2.2.
Oh, just only the Node.js should be the latest one,
Updated
right?
one. Yes. Just go to this site and download the updated one.
Okay.
Now, so I'm going to the file explorer, B33 folder. Now here, I will create one more folder, Angular. Okay. Now I'm opening this folder. Now in this folder, on this folder, I have to open the command prompt. So what you can do, right click, open in terminal. See, your command prompt open in that particular folder. Either you can do this, or in the address bar, you can simply type CMD. That will also do the same thing. See, your command prompt open to that particular folder. Now in this folder, you have to create an Angular project, right? Whenever you have to create the project, you select the folder, just like that. So we have to open command prompt inside. We can do the same thing in VS Code also. Okay. Basically in VS Code, command prompt get open in the internal terminal. Okay. Now, so you have to create a new project. So ng, as I said, all Angular things we have to create by using Angular CLI commands only. ng new, then your project name, B-33. There is no restriction on the project name. If you have seen React.js, in React.js we have some restriction like capital and everything, right? But in Angular we don't have such restriction. Any name you can use for the project name. ng new your project name. Fine. ng new, then you need project name, whatever the project name you want to give. Fine. Once you enter, that's not it. G1, B-33, enter. It is asking us a question like, tailwind CSS. So this tailwind, I think previously we were not getting this tailwind. Only CSS as less we used to get. But now this tailwind option is there. I think 20 or 19 we started getting it. Okay. But no one will ask you this question, but I'm just explaining you. Previously only CSS, SAS and less option were coming. So you are creating a project. What CSS framework you have to use? Do you want to go with less SAS or simple CSS or tailwind CSS? Okay. So you can just use your arrow buttons to shift between. I'm going with CSS only. This is the first question it will ask. Then it will ask you second question. SSR, server-side rendering. Do you need to enable the server-side rendering? Normally, if you are creating website using Angular, then we go for SSR. Okay. Previously, we used to have Angular Universal. A replacement of that is SSR, because website has to be compatible with SEO and everything. So SSR helps you in that. So we don't need, we just need a plain admin application. So I will say N, capital N, enter. Then third question it is asking, while development, do you need the support of any AI tool? Means when you are writing the code now, if you select any model, what are these? Cloud, Cursor, Gemini, GitHub Copilot, JetBrains AI. What are these? What are these?
Generative AI.
But exactly what are these?
Gen AI.
AI tools.
Agents. Yeah, obviously AI, but these are agents which do some particular work. AI agents. Okay. So we have to go with none. See, so many are there. Okay. You have to go with none. Okay. So now you can see one side, 3 question it asks. CSS,
So now maybe.
be on mute. Ajaz. Okay. So it has created a project and it is doing something installing packages. Okay. Let's open the code our project in VS Code. Open folder. B33, B33, Angular. Every time open the proper project name. This is your project, so select that. Fine. So if you see, this is the basic project it has created. Currently, we don't have node module folder present over here. So what is the process happening? Installing packages via npm. Okay. So what this process is doing, you have package.json. Okay. In package.json, you have entries of so many libraries or packages. See, some are in dependencies, some are in dev dependencies. Now, what this process is doing, it is reading your package.json. It is reading your package.json. See, now node module folder came. It is reading your package.json, each version, each file, each package version, each package name and its version. And it is installing from your node module to your node module folder. From npm to your node module folder. Okay. If I simply search this package, angular/core. So this package will be there in npm. See, this package is present in your npm. So what this process is doing, all the packages, whatever the packages we have it over here, it is installing one by one and putting all that file into your node module folder. See, so many things are there.
Sir, sorry about that. Could you please zoom your screen in
Could you
VS
please?
Code? So, could you please zoom your screen in VS Code?
Wait. Okay, better now?
Yeah, thanks.
Right. So npm install thing, whatever it is happening, it is reading all your files and it is installing all the packages from npm and putting it into your node module folder. Okay. This is what happens when you install the first project. Now, if you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 packages we have it over here. Then around 7 packages over here. So 15 to 16 packages we have. But if you check the node module, we have so many things. We don't have all these packages. Let's say CLI Vid. We don't have that package over here. Right? Course. We don't have it over here. CSS style. We don't have it over here. Or let's say entities. We don't have it over here. Encode URL. We don't have it over here. So why it has installed all these packages? Right? Getting it? So see, Angular compiler. If you expand the Angular, you will find Angular compiler package over here. We have it in our package.json. So it has installed it also. It's okay. RxJS. So if you go down, RxJS will be also there. RxJS. Okay. So prettier. Let's check prettier also. See, prettier is also there. So whatever the package we have it over here, those are present. But some extra packages are also there. We didn't have it in your package.json. So all these remaining might be dependencies of one of these packages. So when you say TSLib, so it might have some dependent packages. To use this package, it might need some dependent packages. So when you install this, it will install the dependent packages also. So that's why in node module, you can see so many packages which are not in your package.json. Clear? Sometimes they ask it, in your package.json, we have this, but in node module, we can see so many things. So what are those? So some packages are dependent of these packages. Clear?
And all these are created when we create a new
Yes, by
Angular
default.
application, right?
By default, we get this much.
Okay, when we run the new Angular
Right.
application command, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Again, we can add our own packages also, like AG Grid, Bootstrap, Material, PrimeNG, anything. External libraries also we can install. We'll see that later. Now, the file structure. So outside, package.json is the first file which you should understand. Package.json contain all the entries of the packages, what you are going to use or what is needed to run the Angular project. Okay. Package.json contain all the packages, all the entries of the packages which you need to run your Angular project. And sometimes external libraries also we install, which you might need for development also. Okay. So here you have two sections, dependencies and dev dependencies. Where do we use dev word? What might be the short form of dev?
Development.
Development.
Developer or development, right? So dependencies, just two sections, all are packages only, but just two sections we have created. So in dependencies, these are the packages which we need actually to write the code and to do the coding. Okay. When you create the build and you have to deploy it somewhere. So these packages will be part of your Angular build. Okay. Now, dev dependencies. So these are the packages which we don't do anything coding with that. These packages are helpful to run the Angular project locally. As I said, package.json will contain the packages so that you can run your Angular project locally also. So dev dependencies, these are the packages. In this section, you will find all the packages which are not needed for our coding purpose. But these are the packages which you need to run your Angular application on your system properly. So when you create a build, these packages won't be part of your build. Okay. This is an intro question. Difference between dependencies and dev dependencies. So when you create a build, dependencies will be part of your build, but dev dependencies won't be part of your build because this package is just needed there to run your application locally. Clear, everyone? Again, those who are seeing all this for the first time, wait for some time. Once we move ahead, then you will understand again. If you install any third party, again, Bootstrap. So Bootstrap will go over here. It won't go over here. But let's say if we install that GitHub packages to deploy it, so that will go over here because we don't do anything coding with that GitHub package. GitHub pages where you deploy. So that will come over here, not here. But Bootstrap, PrimeNG, material will come over here because Bootstrap is the actual thing what we use, right? So that should be part of your build. So it will be over here. Fine. Again, in package.json, we have some script. So you can create your own script over here. We will visit this section later. Now, so this is the first file. After that, second file will be angular.json. So when we talk about Angular, React, Vue.js, these are frameworks. So when you create a project, it has so many files. So when we talk about project, those who are coming from .NET or Java background, in .NET or Java or your PHP, whatever other technologies you might be coming from. Whenever you create the project, every project will have some configuration file, right? Some setting file. So in Angular, we have this file, angular.json. You can call it as a configuration file or a setting file of your Angular project. All the setting related to your project, all the configuration will be over here. Fine. So here you can see some things like version is there, then browser file, assets, styles, then configuration, initial, what should be initial build size, what should be the maximum length of my component file, what should be maximum size of my component, then development. Here you can specify which default port you can run. Okay, here in development port. By default, when you run your Angular application, it runs on 4200. But if you want to run your Angular application by default to 4202, so you can specify over here. Okay. Some test related thing is also the in previous version, we used to have so many things for the test, but now we are using white by default in Angular 21 for testing. We have white by default, so we don't have that also. Okay. So overall, your Angular project settings will be set over here. Fine. I'm removing this for now. Then your tsconfig.json file. So while working on Angular, as I said, by default, we write the code in TypeScript, right? So TypeScript, again, it's another language. It has compiler, just like JavaScript does also has compiler, TypeScript does also has compiler. So when we talk about compiler, it might have some setting, right? So TypeScript related some settings are over here. Okay. Which version you want to use, ES6 version, right? Skip library, node implicit return, strict mode is true, right? Sometimes when you create a function and you can return it, you can provide a return type also. So no implicit return, so many things are there. Okay. So some settings are there related to your TypeScript compiler. So that will go over here. tsconfig, TypeScript configuration file. Fine. Package.json, angular.json, and TypeScript file. So for now, these three important files are there. Remaining I will explain later. We don't need remaining for now. So just three: package.json, angular.json, and tsconfig. These three things are needed. Everyone clear till now? The purpose of all these three files?
Yes.
Fine. Now, public folder. So in previous version, we used to have it as an asset folder. Okay. Let's say in your Angular project, you have some images that you want to render, right? Some PDF files, some Excel files that you are going to use inside your application, or some even static JSON file also. So that data, that kind of files you used to store in your asset folder. Now that asset folder is replaced by public folder. So if you have some images, some icons, something that you are going to use inside your application, so that files you will keep it over here. Okay. The node module I have already explained, whatever the packages you have, that files got downloaded over here in node module folder. Then you have src folder. In src folder, here you can see we got main.ts and style.css. So this main.ts file was referenced over here in angular.json. See over here. That main.file inside your src folder, it has a reference in your angular.json file. Okay. Previously, we used to have, see if I remove it, index file also. Okay. In previous version, I don't remember the exact version when they removed it, but in previous version, this index.html file, that also used to refer over here. It has a reference over here. Okay. Now main.ts, this is the starting point of our Angular application. From here, your Angular application starts. Okay. Those who are from Java, .NET, or PHP, every project will have a starting file. From there, your application will start, or your compilation will start. So in Angular, main.ts is a file which will start your Angular application. From here, your execution will start. Okay. So that main.ts file reference, we have it over here. Then, as we discussed initially, that Angular is a single page application. So what is that single page? So this index.html is nothing but your single page. This is the page where inside this body, whole your Angular application will load. Okay. Doesn't matter on which component you go, this will be the single file which will be running overall your application, and whole your Angular application will run inside this app root. Okay. So this index file reference also used to be there, but now by default it is there. So we don't have to provide a reference. Sometimes what happens, some project rename this file. Instead of index, they go with main.html or something. So that reference has to be added over here. By default, Angular is considering that you have index folder. But if you replace it with main.html, so then you have to provide it over here. That main.html is my single page application file. Okay. Sometimes some companies will, instead of main.ts, they will go with index.ts also. And then here they will change. Fine. Now, so main.ts, if we open style.css. So style.css, this is global file. Let's say some CSS are there which you are going to need overall your application. So global CSS, global class, you can keep it over here. Let's say primary. Okay. Color is what? White color. Or let's say red. Now, overall your Angular application, you are going to need a class where color is red. So you can use this class everywhere. Okay. So global CSS will go over here. Then main.ts. This is your main.ts. So what you are seeing over here, bootstrap application. Now, what do we mean by bootstrap? Is it our CSS bootstrap or it is something else?
It's
To
starting of
initialize.
the application.
Okay. This is not our CSS bootstrap. Bootstrapping means starting. Okay. Start. You know, in your laptop or in your PC, we used to have that bootloader, right? If I'm not wrong. Anyone remember bootloader or something is there? Whenever your PC or laptop start, your bootloader start first of all. Right? It microprocessor, everything, it runs from that. Right? So Here you can consider the same bootstrapping. It is starting your application. Okay, that's what I said. Like main.ts. What is the purpose of it? To start your Angular application. So this actually does that bootstrapping. Now here you have two things, app and app config. So this app is coming from app folder and then app. So app folder and then app. So this app is nothing but your app component. So when you are running, Angular application is running. In Angular application, we can have so many components, but which component you have to run by default? So here we are saying ki app component, you can run it by default. Okay. And then we have a reference of app config. So here it is app config. So this app config in previous version, when we didn't had standalone component, we used to have app module. So app config is a small version of replacement of app module. Okay, those who don't know the previous version app module or anything, we are going to see that also, okay, how your previous project was there. What was app module and what is app config. But for now, just remember, those who knows app module, whatever we used to do in app module, what sections were there? In app module, what sections were there?
Imports, declarations, providers.
Imports, declarations, providers. One more thing,
Bootstrap.
bootstrap. Right? There we used to specify the component, but that thing is now moved to your app.json. So here, provider, what we used to do with the provider in app module? Those who don't know, it's okay. I'm just checking existing guys.
Declare the services.
Services. We used to inject services. The right word is declare instead of injecting. So this section is only over here. The remaining, your declaration import has been moved. Bootstrap also has been moved. So that's what I said. Ki app config is a mini version of your app module. Understood? Here you will register all your services, means dependency injections. Okay, what is dependency injection? We will talk later. Okay, then app.config we have seen. Then we have app.route.ts. So this is a file where you create all your route. Even though Angular is a single page application, we have to achieve look and feel that I'm navigating from one page to another page. So to do that, we use routing. Okay, so we have to create routes over here. After that, you can see app.css, app.html, app.spec.ts, app.ts. These four files, 1, 2, 3, 4. These all four files are component, one component. These are, even though these are four different files, this is one component only. Okay. Now, before moving ahead, I will create. Now, whatever the code you have to write, you write all your code inside app folder only, not outside app folder. You don't do anything outside app folder, apart from installing packages or something. All your Angular code will be inside your app folder only. Okay. So inside your app folder, I'm creating a component, sorry, folder. First, I'm creating a folder just to separate our things into a particular folder. Components. Okay. Let me close off. Now, in this folder, I have to create the component. Okay. So right click. Now in this folder, I have on this particular folder, I have to open my command prompt. So right click on this folder, open in an integrated terminal. So it will open terminal on this particular folder. See, it has opened your terminal. This terminal is nothing but your command prompt, but it is integrated inside the VS Code. Okay. Now, first I will create the component, then I will run the application. So as I said, Angular will have so many components. Okay. For now, those who are totally new to the Angular, right? While learning with JavaScript, for every topic, we used to create different HTML page. So same like that over here. If you want to create a new page, you will create a component. Just go with this understanding for now. Moving ahead, once we see the reusable component and everything, then you will only get clear about the ideas like what is component. It's not a page, it's a HTML. But for now, consider if you want to create a page, create a component. Okay. Now, as I said, everything from creating project to running the project to create a build, from creating component, everything has to be done by using Angular CLI. So to create a component, we have Angular CLI command, ng generate. We are creating something to generate. What you are going to generate? Component and your component name. ng generate component and component name. Let's say admin component. Enter. A component will have 4 files: .ts file, .css file, .html file, and this is for testing. Okay. So if you expand the component folder, you can see 4 files. When it has created a folder admin, and inside that you have see 4 files are there. This is command to create your component. A short form is also there. ng, instead of generate, you can use G. Instead of component, you can use C. User. Okay. Either you type everything like this, or you can use the short form also. Enter. Second component I am creating. Again, you can see for second component also, it has created same number of files. Okay. If you expand it, see 2 folders are there, admin and the user. Okay. If you remember in JavaScript, in plain HTML, let me open that B-33. In your HTML file, okay, we consider this movie. So movie.css. Okay. So this was a project. So all the HTML file was over here, right? Let me remove my CSS from over here. I will move it to movie.css. Okay. In your plain HTML file, so we had HTML file, CSS file, and JS file. This we can put it into style tag, this we can put it into your script tag also. But instead of putting everything in a single file, we move our CSS to different file, we move our JS to different file. Then we load this file over here, right? So your HTML will be over here, your CSS will be over here, and your coding will be over here, right? But when you run, all these 3 files run as a single entity. Even though these all 3 are different, when you run, they will run as a group, correct? So understanding the same behavior over here, when you talk about the component, for HTML, you have a different file. Here you only create your HTML. If you need some CSS, if you want to create some CSS classes, that classes you will create over here. When it comes to coding part, you want to create some variable function. For this page, you will create it over here. Okay. So separation of concern. HTML will be over here. Your coding will be over here. Your CSS part will be over here for this component. Again, for the user page, some HTML you have to create. So that will go over here. Your CSS will go over here for the user component, and .ts, your coding part will be going over here. So what we had it over there, similar concept we have it over here. In your HTML file, if you want to load the CSS in your HTML file, you used to do like this, link and this, right? JS also you used to like this. Then it works like for this HTML file, this file you have to consider, this file you have to consider over here. But in Angular, in .ts file, you have something like component decorator. So this thing hold all files together. Okay. Here, if you see .user.html, .user.css. So here we have the reference of it. Key for this user component, what is the HTML file? What is the CSS file that we are specifying over here? Saying template URL and style URL. If for user component, my HTML will come from this file, my CSS will come from this file. In admin also, see admin.html, admin.css. So in every component, this is the component decorator. We'll see moving ahead what is decorator, what multiple decorators are there. But for now, just linking, right? As I was saying, like all these 3 files works as a group. So where it is linked, right? So here it is linked in your component.ts file, in your component decorator. Okay. Are you able to relate with Java's normally your HTML page and the Angular component? What things were there and how things are over here? Fine. Now, let's try to run the application. Again, you have to open a new command prompt, but not on this folder. Click plus over here. You have to open command prompt on the project level, parent, overall workspace, plus. So your command prompt will open on the folder. See B-33. Here only you can run your project, not on the app folder, not on the SRC folder, not on the anything. On your parent folder only, your project folder, you can run your command. Let me try to run the project on app folder. If I'm opening the command prompt on the app folder. To run the project, we have ng serve, enter. It is running, I thought.
Sir, here standalone is there is no in the compound decorator. No need.
Sorry, come ahead.
Here standalone is not there in the compound decorator.
Yeah, so by default, it is standalone now. Previously,
Oh,
up till Angular 18 or 19, we had this property,
yes.
true, false, but now it is by default true.
Okay.
Okay, no need of it.
Okay.
What is this standalone, sir?
I will comment. Okay. Ajaz, you know Angular by previous version?
No, sir, I don't. I used to just learn it, but I didn't use it up to
You
now.
didn't work on Angular yet, no?
Yes, sir.
So wait, I will cover everything.
Okay.
Okay. So inside your Angular application, you can run, wherever you can run it. But let's say you open the folder if you don't open the folder B33, but if you open the folder Angular, let me go back. So, let's open a new terminal. Currently, my command prompt is at line number, on the folder B33, cd ... Now where I am at Angular folder. Now on Angular folder, if I try to run the command, see where I'm at an Angular folder. In Angular folder, I don't have the project. Inside Angular folder, I have B33. Inside that, I have the Angular project. But if I try to run my Angular project, Angular command on the Angular folder, it will give me error that this command is not available. This command is not available when running outside the Angular workspace. Because in Angular folder, do we have project in Angular folder? No, right? We have a folder inside it. Inside this folder, we have an Angular project. So you cannot run project over here. See, ng serve. You won't be able to run because in Angular folder, you don't have project. But same thing, if you try to run it in Angular B33 folder, in B33, we have Angular project. It will run now. So whatever you are doing from over here, from terminal, same thing you can do from command prompt also. See, now your Angular project is running on particular code. Copy it. Now go to your web, paste it. See, something is coming by default. So from where it is coming? So from your app component. So as we said, when your Angular application run, main.ts will start your application, and main.ts, we have a reference of app component. So this is our parent component, which will run by default. So if you check the app.html, where it is, see, hello, title, congratulations, your app is running. Same thing is coming over here. Okay. So this is what your Angular application is running. Let's get rid
So
of
then
this.
index.html, what is, it's not.
Index.html is a parent page. Here you can see app root is there. App-root. Now, if you visit your app component.ts, see selector. So this component is going to run over here in your body. Okay.
Okay.
So your index.page is just to load your app component. Now whole your application will load over here itself. Okay. App component is your parent component. Here you will have navbar and everything. Whole your Angular application will run over here. So we don't have to worry about index.html. In index.html, we have entry of app component selector. Okay, this selector, we have it over here. Okay. Now, if I app component, I removed everything. I'm simply adding h1. Hi, welcome. If I save, so whenever one time you run it, okay, we run it over here now. So see your compile. Previously, it was over here. When you save, again, it will recompile. Let me close this. Okay, I will run my application over here. Let me delete everything. Terminal, ng, serve. You can use S also. Instead of writing serve, Simple as short form will also work. So your Angular application is running. Okay. Now just pay attention over here. After H1, let's say again I add a P. This error. If I save, see, again it got compiled. So you don't, after saving again, you don't have to run again. Okay. It will have to compile. So see, now it is coming. Okay. So whatever you have it in your app component, that HTML code is running over here. Okay. Now let's visit our component. We have created two components, admin component and user component. So in admin component, we have some P by default. Let's add a text box, enter name. Then we will have a button, save user. Okay. This is the HTML what I have in admin component. Then let's visit here. Let's say div. Beside that, let's create a table. ER, EH, serial number, EH, name, city. Then one more TR I will get. PD. One. This. Okay. So we have two components. In both of the component, I have some HTML code now. Let's save it also. File save all, already saved. But that HTML is not coming in your Angular application. Okay. So we created component, but by default, what is happening? Our app component is loaded over here into the browser, right? If you want to load this app admin component and user component, you have to load that into your app component. Okay. But how you will load? How you will render your admin component and user component into your app component? So in admin component.ts and user component.ts, in component decorator, we have something selector. See, in user component, it is saying app-user. In admin component, it is saying app-admin. So if you want to render one component into another component, you can render that by using the selector name like this. Okay. So this is my selector. Means if you want to render it, this component in any of the component, you can use this selector as a HTML tag. So in app component, let's create table. ER, PD, add file with 100%. Okay. So in this first TD, I will going to render my app admin as like this, as a HTML tag. What is this? Selector of the admin component. But if you want to render, if you want to load this component in another component, you use the selector. Okay. Like this as a HTML tag. Okay. Just like TDTR, just like that, you will render component selector as a HTML tag. But currently it's giving error. What it is saying? App admin is not a known element. Then it is saying if app admin is an Angular component, then verify if it is included in the component import of the component. Okay. So now from standalone component, the moment we got standalone component, if you want to use one component into another component, you have to import that component in your app component. So now admin component, I'm trying to render in my app component. So in app.ts, here in the import section, you have to import the class of admin component. This one. This you have to import it over here. So see, admin. Once I write admin, you can see it is showing the path also. Component, admin. So if I select it, see import has been automatically added. Now if I save, now you are not getting that error. Okay. If I remove it, again we will get error because it won't understand what is this app admin. This is coming from some different file. Na? If you want to use it, you have to import it. Okay. Let's say file this also. Now you see, you are able to see what HTML code we had in your admin component that is coming over here. admin, a text box, and a button. Okay. By default, your app component is running, but inside app component, you have render your admin component. It's like running one page inside another page. How we used to do that in your normal HTML? If you want to load one page into another page, how do we do in HTML? Plain HTML.
Referencing HTML page JS file, script
No,
type.
no.
Anchor
I'm saying
tag.
no.
iframe.
Iframe. Anchor tag is to navigate. Iframe, you know how you can render one page into another page. Iframe. Just like that, you can understand. And you forget it. You might not. If you don't know iframe, let it be. Okay. So in admin component, you are rendering your app component. Okay. Now, here again, we want to import the user component. So I will write the import manually now. Import from single quote dot slash. When you use dot slash, you are in the current folder space. See what you are able to see. You are over here. So when you use dot slash, all the files in this particular folder you are able to see. Then we have to go to the component slash. Again, if you see the component, admin and user. In component, currently we just have two folders. See, it is suggesting over here. Then where we have to go? User and user.ts. Then you can import user over here. And then user file, you can add it over here. This is manual thing, or if you write it, it will suggest you import also. That also you can do. Then you have imported admin and user component into your admin component. Now here it will suggest it also. app-c user. The selector of user component it is suggesting. Either you can create a separate closing angle bracket like this, or self-closing also will work. I say, see, this is your admin component. This UI is coming from your user component. Understood? Why we are loading component like this? Because we have not set up the routing. Once you set up the routing, this component you will access by URL /user/admin. Then that specific component will load. But currently we have not done routing. So this is how we load up component till now. Understood, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, those who are learning Angular for the first time, okay, don't try to understand everything in first go. Just focus on what I'm teaching. Just explore that. Okay. Wait for just 2 or 3 weeks. Once your basic is done, then you will be able to understand everything. Okay. Just trust my process. Don't try to explore anything else. Whatever I'm teaching, just focus on that. Just practice on that. Okay. Once we are done with basic topic, then you will only tell me that, yeah, I'm comfortable now. Okay. I know like what is Angular, what things are there, how do we run it, what other things are there, how it is relating, everything you will understand. Okay. Fine. Any questions now?
Yes, sir. I have one question. What is SSR and why we used it?
Yeah, I will cover that later. We
Okay.
don't have to worry about that much. As I said, na, ki SSR is if you are using Angular just to create a website, and that website has to be SEO optimized. You have to do the SEO of your website. So in Angular, we just have a one page, right? If you know SEO, what do we do in SEO?
I don't know SEO.
Search engine
Search engine
optimization.
optimize. We have to add some keywords over here. Now we just have a single page, but let's say admin component has to be SEO optimized. So we don't have your head tag over here, na? So
Okay.
SSR helps you in that. Okay. Normally, don't worry about SSR. No one use Angular for website. Some some of the project might be using, but most of the Angular applications are admin kind of application, no website. Okay, they will go for WordPress. Fine. Anyone else having any question till now? What we covered? Okay, one more request to
One question.
Yeah, Pooja.
Interview preparation batch will go only for Saturday or daily basis?
Saturday, Sunday. Pooja, you are in
Okay.
interview batch also. I have added you in the separate group.
No.
Yeah. So every day, like as I said, even if I am getting time, we are connecting. Like that day we connected in the evening. Yesterday I was not
Okay.
having time, so didn't connect. Today we can. Okay.
Okay.
But
Okay.
this is like every day what we are connecting. This is apart from the regular topic. Some extra things we are doing. Some scenario based, because you are the guys who knows already Angular. You don't have to wait for Angular. Some scenario based example in Angular and everything we will cover. Okay. One more question. One more, just like some in this batch we have only one fresher. Then we have people with 2 years, 3 years, 8 years, 9 year, and 13-year experience also. So you can see everyone is here. Only one fresher apart from. She also knows everything from the Angular basic. Okay. When I'm teaching, try to hold on to your question, and specifically those are repeaters. You already have attended 2 or 3 batches, and if while explaining you are asking me question, then it doesn't look good. You already know these things. Okay. So wait for session to end, then you can come up with the question, because some of people have reached out to me that we are getting disturbed. Okay. So hold on. If it is related to that question, you are asked there itself. But if it is not related to the topic, hold on till the end of the session. In the end of the session, we can discuss so that other people might not get disturbed. Think from their perspective also, right? If someone is having 13 year or 8 or 9 years of experience, right? He's already busy. Like he might be TL or manager, and then he's coming over here. Once he's done, he might be married, right? And if you are asking, our session get extended like that, right? So hold your questions till the end of the session if it is not related with the current topic. Okay, so others might not get disturbed. Fine. Apart from this, everyone is clear. Now, how do you practice? So create a new projects, create 2 projects. One project where whatever I am explaining, you have to do the same thing. Another project that will be your practice project. Again, same thing you can do, or some extra thing you have to try. Okay. One project just to do whatever I'm doing, one more project to explore anything else. Right? Whatever I'm doing, you have to do the same thing. But in another project, you can try another thing. Let's say I have just created 2 components, right? You can create 4 to 5 components and try to render it over here. Create some different HTML in every page and see if it is running properly. Stop it, run it, create components, right? Create 2 folders. One folder you have created component, another folder again you can create in app pages. Some component you keep it into your app component folder, some component you keep it into your page folder. Try to do it. Okay, that's how you get comfortable with Angular. Don't just be limited with my, like what I'm teaching. Yeah, when I'm teaching, you will understand it. But if you don't do the practice, after 2 3 days, you will forget everything. Guaranteed. So you have to do the practice. That is the only way you will understand everything. If you are not doing practice daily, then this won't make any sense then. Early and joining it 1 hour, it will all go into the waste. Fine. So do the practice. Practice is the only important thing. Fine. Okay. Anyone having any question? Otherwise, we are good to close. Fine. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. I will share recording in some time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.